Late, but as the saying goes, better late than never. Who's in the chat with me right now? And how do we feel about tonight's game? Somebody's in here with me. Obviously, this is one of the more enjoyable ones that the Utah Jazz have had the opportunity to come across, more so because we held the Portland Trailblazers, which are an underachieving team, under 100 points. Logic, what's going on? I appreciate you, man. You were the first channel member on here. I have a couple from the he said there he is. A couple from the what's it called? The buy me a coffee thing. But you were the first one on YouTube, and that made me very happy because I didn't think anybody was going to be quite honest with you. That being said, I appreciate the love and support, man. Derek, what's up? Yeah, I know. I apologize for my tardiness. There was a lot of mishaps on the way home, and I didn't get to enjoy as much of the game as I would have typically liked to. But, nevertheless, here we are, right? 115.99, a lot to enjoy. Excuse me while I have this plate of food with me. Um, that being said, things to like for Jordan Clarkson specifically. Obviously Keontae George had a scoring burst for himself to go along with the 4 rebounds and 7 assists, which we did appreciate. He said, "Telling me I beat Lee and Tate me early, early." I'm pretty late, low key. I'm pretty late, low key. I'm not gonna lie, but it's okay because they won, right? If they didn't win, it might be a little bit worse. But the Jazz, I mean, obviously the Trailblazers didn't have Scoot, but Scoot hasn't really played up to par or up to the expectation this season thus far. With that in mind, it's just one of those things where you take a win where you can get it. We allowed Jeremy Grant to drop 26, Shaden Sharp had 17, and DeAndre Ayton had 22 and 10. Their point guard, Skylar Mays, filling in, had 6, 5, and 10, which was a little bit interesting. And the Jabari Walker gave them 12 and 8 off the bench. But overall, just what you would hope the opposing team would end up having if you're playing against the Portland Trailblazers. Have them under 100 with Howard decent. Yeah, the defense has been honestly abysmal across the board this season. There have been bright spots, and we've also played against certain teams that are going to be expected to have one of the more higher scoring outputs. But with that in mind, it's also going to be very important to not turn the ball over, which thank you, Logic, for catching that. 11 steals to 12 turnovers tonight. When we average 17 and a half, I believe, a game. So cutting that down does wonders. Obviously, the Portland Trailblazers aren't necessarily a top team in the league. So they're one of the more easy teams. It's one of those teams where it's like you need to win. It's a game that you not only do you need to win, but you need to look good when you do it. Because the Portland Trailblazers are effectively the bottom of the Western Conference. So you want to definitely differentiate between where you are and where they are. Apologies. Now, winning by 16 points and holding them under 100 points is definitely a pretty good way to do it, especially when Jordan Clarkson has a good night shooting from the field. Larry obviously had his 21 and 9. Keontae had, honestly, in my opinion, one of his arguably his best game of the season from an all-around perspective. And then you had John Collins being his usual efficient self, 14 and 10. Can't complain with that. Can I ever have one question? What are you doing? Lee, there you are, man. There you are. I love him. Can't get a green name like yeah, there you gotta get like the gang. But it's okay. I'm not gonna go like what's his name? Like our fellow jazz enthusiast analyst who only has, paying members chats pop up on screen. I wouldn't do that to you guys. But let me know how you guys felt about today's game. Obviously, we liked it because a win is a win. Winning the first quarter 36 to 28, second quarter 31 to 30. Third quarter, dead even at 28, wasn't exactly the most ideal situation, but again, there was a lot going on and just a more fun-loving atmosphere about the team on your home court in a tournament game on that purple Barney, looking like Barney threw up on the court, kind of purplish, but it's a nice looking court. But then they close out the fourth quarter 20 to 13. That being said, you said need more Keontae minutes for me. I would agree. He did have 26 today. He did a lot with that 26 though. All things considered, hoops nerd. Yeah, should be close to 32. Yeah, I would agree with you on that one. That being said, considering the type of game that was played today, I'm content with what we got out of him because for him to be able to put up 15, 4, and 7 in just 26 minutes, considering the role that he's had with the team thus far, does it bodes really well for the way that we can expect him to perform going forward the remainder of the season and just even implications for just what his career could potentially be like. Because if you can score and just produce a high output of rebounds and assists and just putting in a solid defensive effort in a very small or like really just not even starter level, like bench tier minutes, then things only go higher from there when you're going looking towards, starter minutes when you get into those 30 minutes. Lee, you have a child at home. Why are you donating me money? I love you though. I appreciate that. Lee really Lee's keeping the lights on. You see, I got Lee is both of them, honestly. The way he be donating. You said Keontae had a lot of plays where you should be worried he might get injured. That is true. That is true. We do need to take care of that. Um Obviously we love somebody that plays hard, right? But you don't want somebody that plays so hard to the point where it makes things a little bit precarious to have them out on the court. There's been a lot of players in the past that have had that, and it just doesn't necessarily work out well for them career-wise in the long term because eventually everybody gets injured, right? It's just a matter of when that injury eventually creeps up on you, basically. And you don't want to be in a situation where it just really gets you at the most inopportune time because that's just honestly when things tend to happen. Circa most recent memory would probably be Kevin Durant in the finals, right? Just not overall good headspace and a good physical space to be in if you're any of those two. Let's see. Tan, yes, sir, you're here. Sorry, I know I started even later than usual, else you guys would have been on here like an hour ago, honestly, probably hour and a half. But it's a vibe, man. It's a vibe. Yeah, Lee's always coming in clutch. He said, "LOL, I promise I'll slow down eventually." I mean, I appreciate the support, I'll never turn it down. But that just means you're the top of the list of the people I appreciate. Um, what do I do at the coffee site? Um, oh, so they did the member thing. So since we ended up clearing the first tier of monetization, right? What ended up happening is I was able to set up memberships on YouTube and the super chats thing, which is still kind of new to me. There's also a shopping tab. Maybe I should make merch. I don't know. I really don't know what I would put on it, honestly. I guess I could put on my logo and then like the jazz symbol. I guess that'd be like the closest relation that I could have to it. But outside of that, Christian, what's up, man? Glad to see you too. Um, but outside of that, on this one, yeah, basically what Lee said. So he does the YouTube membership too. I set the one membership abnormally high for no reason. Like I have the general one that's like 7.99, and then I have the other one that's 25.99. I need to delete that one because I did it as a troll at first because it was like really late at night when I actually did it. But then I was like, let me actually delete this because somebody might actually eventually reach a point where they pay $25, and I don't want somebody doing that. I absolutely don't. So I need to make sure that my other one gets approved because I want to do one where it's like anybody that hops in there, they like get the opportunity to participate in any of like the channel polls, they suggest video stuff like that. And then obviously that next step above is just like people telling me what videos they really want to do, what their takes are, and just I can really just take those things and make them into a video. And maybe we could do like a little bit of a hot takes thing or just like a stream on a night where they don't have a game. You know what I'm saying? I think that would be kind of cool too, just to talk about basketball in that sense, or just about people's lives. Because I mean, if I'm not gonna lie, if at this stage, right, we haven't even hit 1,000 subscribers. So if you're at this stage and you believe enough to go ahead and become a member, then I would like to know what your personal life is like. Now you don't have to, tell me your childhood traumas, but a simple how your day went, how work was would be nice to talk about in the chat as well. Um, my fault. I got a little bit on a tangent there. Gotcha. I want to make sure I buy the right thing. So how do I do it? I've never done membership before. Hey, did he do one? Um, yeah, with Lost Logic said. Think about the time. Lee, please don't do that. Yes, Lee, absolutely do not press the 25 one is a troll and it will be gone probably tomorrow afternoon. I have to make sure that the next one up got approved and then I'll just completely delete the 25 one because I actually don't want to. Derek, that's real love, man. Wait, Derek, why didn't you just do the membership? You didn't have to send me 9.99. Did you do the membership, bro? Just do the membership. That way your name will be green. I gotta see if I can change that on my end. Is that something I can do? He sent it as a super chat though, so I'm not sure. Tay, you said sorry, I'm done with the join button. No, you're good, Tay. You're good. Next to the sub button and the bell, yeah. You're gonna do that too, Derek. I appreciate you, man. Yeah. Fun fact. Car's not out of the shop. Need to call the mechanic tomorrow. But he's had it in his hands for what, like 6 days now. So even if he didn't work out on the weekend, that's 4 days. I'm thinking I should get it back. Today's Tuesday going into Wednesday. So well, it's Wednesday for me now. It just hit midnight. Pretty sure we'll be like green in a little bit. But to dial things back and get right back on topic, man. Who do you guys think was the most impressive in today's game? Obviously, a win is a win, but some people contribute a little bit more or just a little bit more than you expect them to. So, who would you guys say to that for one? Mm-mm-mm-mm. 4 and 7 looks so ugly, but we'll take it. Uh, you know what? Let me think. Not tech savvy. Apparently, I see the sub. Play good. Yes, sir. I would agree. This game can be worse, less turnovers. There you go. Lee sees it. You see division like a line between two dots. Yes, sir. Is it the box score or is it the play-by-play that I'm looking for? Box score. There we go. I love ESPN sometimes. Always. Ooh, John Collins was not efficient. Let me backtrack what I said earlier. He was okay. He wasn't terrible, but he also was not very good. Panda Balls, is this your first time commenting, bro? What's up, man? What's your actual name? or have you commented before and I just haven't recognized? I might not have recognized if that's the case. But yeah, I love John Collins either way. 14 and 10 can't beat it. 2 of 5 for 3, 40%. Didn't really love the overall field goal, 6 of 16. That's a lot of misses for him specifically. But overall, I'm pretty content what he brought to the table today. And it makes sense now that he only had 14. Yeah, Lowry didn't have a good shooting game, honestly. 8 of 18 isn't bad, right? But the 2 of 9 for 3 is a little bit rough considering that he usually shoots right around 10, 11-ish threes a game. And he's shooting above 40%. So for him to go 2 of 9, that's what, 22% from the 3-point line? It's just not ideal, if that makes sense. Let's see. Clarkson, yup. This is one of those games where Clarkson shooting more shots than Lowry Markkinen actually worked in our favor. And I'm appreciative of that because 13 of 19, he only took one more shot than Lowry. But he hit 5 more. He also hit 2 more threes. So his percentages were good. Overall, just not a bad performance on his part. So I'm appreciative of that. Got to give credit where credit is due. And I know I have a tendency to rag on Jordan Clarkson a little bit harder than most probably would. But, there's my Jordan Clarkson praise for the day, right? He shot good from the field, and I appreciated the 30 that he had. It was an efficient 30, and I can live with that. Said Kelly Olynyk on the boards. Yes, I saw that early and often. 12 and 12. I love it. I love it. I love it. 4 of 8 from the field, not mad at it. 2 of 3 from 3-point line. I love it. You know what I'm saying? Just a solid piece to have there. Clarkson, especially with the early part of the game, helped Lowry wasn't struggling. First time, love the videos, dog. Appreciate you. Panda, what is your name, bro? You want me to just call you Balls? What's your name, bro? Um, Christian, you said this wasn't Lowry's best game, but loved how he turned it up in the fourth to push the lead from 2 back to double digits. Yes, very important. Big time players make big time plays, and they close out games when they're ahead, and they find a way to get the job done when they're down late in games as well. Lowry managed to do that today despite not really having his second worst game alongside the initial game to start the season against the Sacramento Kings, where he also shot inefficiently. But outside of these two games, and we're like 11 games into the season now, he's been a very stellar piece to have. Like, he's been one of the most consistent players, the most consistent shooter, especially as a big man, especially as a 7-footer. Can't beat it. So this is an excusable incident, as well as you said, with context added in. The fact that he played a big role in the fourth quarter also makes things very reasonable. He says Sexton is doing pretty good. Good 6-man game for him. Yes, I would like to go ahead and shout him out too. You know how I feel about Colin Sexton. Got that good old Cleveland jersey. I need to get a Utah Jazz one before anything happens. 28 minutes, 5-11 from the field. The 1 of 5 from 3 was less than desirable, but I'm not mad. I'm not mad, right? Because he had 4 rebounds, 7 assists, which was a tied for a team high alongside Keontae to go along with his 13 points. Let's see. You said of the kind of surprise. Utah Jizz. Bro, what is your actual what is your actual name? I just realized that there was an A instead of an I. Let's go 4-7 and 2-0 in the season tournament in the in-season tournament. Yes, sir. Car Wash channel. Are you actually a car wash channel? What's your name, bro? Is this your first time commenting? Welcome to the family. I appreciate you tuning in. Logic said most of the misses are probably under the rim and putbacks, and the Blazers were collapsing a lot. That is also very true, which could also attribute to some of the rebounds that he did get. I will say that. But overall, I'm not mad at John Collins. I'm gonna go ahead and say that. I can't be you can't be mad at somebody that you plugged into your system after paying little to nothing to get them, and they play well along your number one star. Can never get mad at that. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna have bad games every now and then, but this is really the first. This is even I wouldn't even call this a bad game for him because we won for one, and for two, he wasn't terrible from the field. So this is one of his more mediocre games, if you will, overall. You said, I'm assuming G. A lot of times he is actually willing to pass the ball. It just a pass leads to nothing, right? And if a pass just leads to dead air or somebody that's going to dribble the clock out, pretty useless. But today he was pretty intentional in his moves. People made their shots, and that made things look better. Now, obviously, from the 3-point line as a team, it was 13 for 43, which works out roughly overall. Things were pretty solid, all things considered. Okay, I figure I'll have to do it on my computer. Fair enough. Oh yeah, Tate, you did go to the game. If the Grizzlies make a miraculous comeback against the Lakers, we will be in an amazing position in our group. And Lowry's also finding his way on defense. Now, obviously, the Trailblazers are a really great team to do that because you can put him on a very poor shooter and have him roam around, and you won't get punished really at all, even if there are miscues and mistakes on the defensive side of the ball. You said you film car washes on YouTube? I'm gonna have to check your channel out, bro. Nice. Definitely, that's what's up. But thanks for tuning in, man. I appreciate you. You said, "Is it me or all these tournament courts look terrible?" I'm not gonna lie, Dan. This might be a hot take, but I kind of like the Utah Jazz one. Now, by and large, I'm definitely gonna say over half of the courts are absolutely like buns. I don't like over half the courts that I've seen so far. Now, maybe if I see like a full screen and I just like go click one through one to one, maybe I'll go on Twitter and look at it one of these days. But overall, they're not stellar. But there's more courts that I like than there are city jerseys that I like. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I'm sure some of you guys feel the same way. With this win, we're ranking the conference. We're fourth in our what you call it, our division which isn't great, but it'll work for now. For now, these next two games, the Suns and the what is it? Suns and Lakers? Is my mind deceiving me? It should be Suns and Lakers. Those are going to be a little bit rough, but overall, we just gotta find a way to dog it out. Um, let's see. Christian said, if you haven't already dropped a like for our boy, right? Yes, sir. Please do. Always and forever. And while I'm in it, this year's edition jerseys look suck from all season. Oh, see, we were on the same page the whole time. I didn't even notice that comment. And then the Jazz one looks dope, not gonna lie, but I'm biased. Derek, I feel you. The common man, yes, sir. I feel like the team is turning a corner. They're looking better for longer stretches. I understand the Grizz and Blazers are not the best teams, but feast while you can. I would agree. If you're a team that's trying to make a playoff push or trying to look like you're capable of making a playoff push, the number one thing you need to be able to do is take advantage of teams that should not be able to hang with you. Because if you're hanging with teams that are at the bottom of the conference and people expect you to be at the bottom of the conference, you're a bottom of the conference team. If it looks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, unfortunately, it is a duck. Now, us being able to get comfortable wins over both teams, well, not necessarily comfortable in the last one against the Grizzlies, but the first one, and if you average those two games together, and then this one against the Portland Trailblazers, you know that we are significantly better than those two teams. Outside of that, there aren't that many teams in the Western Conference that we're really going to beat by 16 points, but there are going to be a lot more playable games where you can actually look at your screen, and it's going to be a nail biter, and we might lose them, but you're going to feel more comfortable turning on your TV and actually watching those games, which is important. You said, dang, you said ours are okay, but there's some rough ones out there. Yeah, I would agree. Especially how quiet the arena was. Yeah, I would agree with you, Tatum. Nice win, go Jazz. Shot. I'm definitely taking your word for it. Logic, you said struggled with seeing the Grizzlies scoring. The course with the Purple Mountain jerseys are pretty great. Yes, I love the Purple Mountain jerseys. Thank you. Yes, yeah. Oh well, I was saying division, but I think he might have been referring to tourney group low key. He said, yeah, the Suns and Lakers are both teams struggling right now, so it's good for us. Also seeing how we play against the Suns will be very important because the Suns did end up giving, Victor Wembanyama and the Spurs, who are not having this season, start out very well. Two of their wins, which was big for them. Now they did clap us, but hopefully this next time around things are different. We move the ball better. We don't turn the ball over as much. We're better in transition. We're better on defense, and we just don't get blown out of the water by their reserves. That being said, as long as those things are capable, those things do happen, it'll be a competitive game, right? We might not be guaranteed to win, but it's going to be a competitive game, which is more than I can say about the last one. Plus, Keontae will actually be playing meaningful minutes so long as we keep this rotation going and he does start. Looking forward, let's see. Keontae, yep. Lakers are 2-0, so basically need to beat the Lakers and have the Suns lose to eat the Blazers, the Grizzlies. The Grizzlies are the most likely. The Blazers probably aren't going to get that job done. And the first game against the Suns was tail back of a back-to-back. True. So the energy, the vibes were also not there. The vibes were not vibing in that game. But it was rough. It was a rough watch. What's that? Remember? I apologize. I haven't eaten all day, guys. I'm trying to lean off camera. Oh, not the jersey. But overall, a lot to like and a lot to not hate, to not dislike. You know what I'm saying? First watch live, loved all the videos. Lee? Did I say it right? Lee? Lee or Lie? Lee? I'm guessing it's pronounced Lee. Let me know. Glad to have you here, brother. Either way. The lives are gonna be are structured a little bit different from my videos. My videos are pretty concise to the point. I might do a live where I just set you guys up off like to the side, and I just go through the process of working out my videos, of working out like the video of the day, and then I'll show you how I edit and everything. Liam, Lisa. Oh, cool. Oh, what's up, Liam? I mean, if you frequent the lives, I try to remember everybody's name for the most part. We do have a couple in here that I do have a tendency to forget just because they either have a similar logo to other people or their name is just too far from what their actual name is, so I can't remember what it is. Speaking of which, Mr. Carwash did not tell me what his actual name was. I don't think he's still in here right now. If you are, tell me what your actual name is so I can every time I think of I can associate you with the car wash page. Jordan, what's up, man? You said, "Hey, Wraith, love your consistency, and the Jazz are looking way better with Keontae as PG." Yep. Now, admittedly, against the teams that we are playing, it stands to reason because they just I'm not gonna say they can't hang with us, but they shouldn't be able to. If we consider ourselves to be a fringe to possibly big playoff team. So, but on top of that, he's just playing good. He's playing efficient basketball, and you love that. Overall, pretty definitely a solid thing. But overall, the shooting also wasn't bad from the field, and we defensively were a very solid team. So, which I love for us. You said, got to see how the lineup holds up against the Suns. Happy if it's just a close one. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, as long as there's good transition defense, decent overall rotations on the defensive front line, and there's not too much of a mishap as far as just how they decide to play them up front, especially in the first 2 quarters. That's really gonna be the determining factor for how the game goes. Outside of that, things will be pretty smooth. You said, "I like that we are actually causing turnover instead of being the one turning it over." Yes, I would agree with you on that one, Tatum, 100%, 1,000%, honestly. When you said, "Yeah, it will be a lot of ups and downs this year, but I think we will improve and hopefully be a playing team." Yeah, I definitely think that's a feasible thing for us. Top 10 is definitely not out of reach by any stretch of the imagination, in my opinion, of course. In my opinion. Um, that was like our first time in over a year. Hello. George is going to be my new dad. Packing a Woody. First of all, wild name, but also funny. I like it. I like the swag. Mm, that was definitely not as off camera as I thought it was. My apologies. Let's see the comment, man. You said thoughts on Levine trade. Does Danny go in on him as an option? Hmm. Interesting. 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 Good goddamn. Okay, so the thing with Zach Levine is he's actually been a surprisingly plus defender. Overall, his shooting splits are dealable, but most people don't know him as being a defensive player. And he's actually been pretty solid in the system that they run up there in Chicago. That being said, I feel like the Bulls will require a pretty hefty trade. And I don't know if Danny would be willing to make that deal, particularly because Jordan Clarkson has been playing well for the past, what is it, 3 games now? So Keontae's been good for 3 games. Jordan Clarkson's been good for 3 games. And Ochai didn't shoot particularly well from the field today, but his defense has been solid. 6 points, 8 rebounds on 2 of 7 shooting, 0 of 2 from the three-point line. Outside of that, I think they might hold to pull the trigger on Levine. Like, that might be closer to a trade deadline type thing if they do make that switch, but I don't know if he fits the identity of the team that they're really going for at the moment, if that makes sense. Not to say that he wouldn't make the team better because obviously he would, but in the bigger picture of things, I think that they would be better served if they just focus on what they have right now, considering that things do seem to be working a little bit better, just a little bit. Um, Dan, you said after last game that we had the worst turnover rate in any team in the last 40 years, 22%. So tonight was a lot more watchable. 22% is absolutely disgusting. I'm very glad that we turned that around. That's an 22%. That's 1 in 5 possessions. Good God. Yeah. You said, I don't think so. The price, unless the price is low to buy. Yeah, that's what I was feeling. Logic. You said, I don't want Levine. Just develop the team as is, in my opinion, Jordan. Yeah, I feel that. I feel that. 2 steals from Clarkson and Ochai. We'll take them. You said, no, no, Levine. He's just Clarkson with extra steps and like really poor man's Devin Booker. Really poor is crazy. I feel like Zach Levine and Devin Booker are very similar players, right? Because Devin Booker wasn't a winner until you brought Chris Paul in. Zach Levine, likewise, is they're both good players, right? They're both scorers. I mean, obviously, Levine is more athletic and just quicker twitch, but at the same time, I don't think that either of them push the needle to force your team to be a playoff team, if that makes sense. Because Devin Booker has been the guy for Phoenix allegedly this entire time, and it took an aging Chris Paul to put them in the playoffs. And obviously, he wasn't going to be healthy enough to stay healthy when they were in the playoffs, as is always the case with his type of teams. But I mean, you know, it is what it is. The only bullworthy thing is I owe this one. Jordan, you said Lonzo would make a lot more sense, but his health sucks. Yeah, a healthy Lonzo would do wonders. Chef's kiss, but yeah, again, healthy Lonzo, which we haven't seen in a couple seasons. Packing, what you said? Do you think they should ride with the starting lineup of George, JC, Ochai, Lowry, and Collins for the rest of the season? I think it's worth. You just gave the one with THT, Clarkson, and Walker, a good 8-ish, 9-ish game sample size starting. So me personally, when Walker comes back, I have to give Walker the benefit of the doubt and have him as the starting 5 again, which will probably push Ochai to the bench. And considering the game that he had today, I wouldn't be mad with him playing like he only played 26 minutes, so him playing 20 minutes off the bench is definitely a feasible thing. That being said, um, I would slip Walker in there, and I will keep Clarkson because he's playing well alongside Keontae, and when he's not expected to be a playmaker, his efficiency seems to be better, and he just seems to make better decisions when the ball's in his hands. That being said, if it works for him, it works for me. I'm not gonna complain. So we'll go ahead and rock with that one. I would definitely give it like a 10 game sample size and see where things are, see just how comfortable everybody is. And if things look good, then I'll just go ahead and keep rolling with that. Would I keep it the entire season? It would have to be really darn good. Is it possible that they keep it all season if I was them? Yeah, for sure. But again, it would have to be really compelling. There would have to be really compelling evidence to make me stick it out the entire time. Um, let's see. Then you said, "Oh yeah, you might be right. He's like in upper middle class." Devin Booker, upper middle class. I'm weak. Tatum turnover. Horton Tucker. Lee. My unrealistic dream. PG is getting Halliburton. Yeah, a lot of people say it. See, even Tatum agree with you. Yep, a lot of people say it. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like we'll ever be that blessed, which is unfortunate, but the reality of the life we live, if that makes sense. That being said, let me look at these Trailblazers numbers, see how good or bad, good slash bad they were. Shaden Sharp did give him 17, 8, and 7, but he also shot 4 of 16 from the field and 2 of 10 from 3. We love that for him. We love that for him. Not because I'm a Shaden Sharp hater, but because he played the Utah Jazz, so he has to be bad. DeAndre was 10 of 17 from the field. So was Jeremy Grant. But Jeremy Grant was also 3 of 6 from 3. Ayton had 22, 10, and 3. Grant had 26, 2, and 1. Yeah, overall, defense did their job. I'll say that. The overall defense did their job. Everyone, at least our point guard isn't Jordan Poole. I'm dead. Jordan Poole's not a point guard. Let's face it. Jordan Poole is a shooting guard. Anybody that says otherwise, you're just playing into the fact that he's only like what 6'2", 6'3". I'm not willing to play into that. Me personally, I wouldn't want Jordan Poole as my point guard. Yeah, he's a nice scorer, but at the same time, kind of streaky at times, and not the overall team player that you would love your point guard to be. Logic, you said I don't think we make a trade with the Bulls. If we were to trade, we aim younger and take a chance at younger players to develop as part of our core. Yeah, that's pretty fair. I wouldn't be mad at that at all. That's definitely a very fair analysis of the situation, good sir. That being said, DHD had 21 minutes today, 2 5 from the field, for 4 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists. Definitely not his finest hour. I didn't love it, but it was there. You know, it was there. And then 7 and Chris Dunn all played 1 minute. I felt like they should have probably got a couple more. I want to see Big Yurt get some more minutes, honestly. Between him and Chris Dunn, I need to see some more action out of the two of them. But if they can win without either of them playing, then I'm not going to, raise a stink about really anything because that's not my priority. That's not my MO. That's not my job. It's just about wanting the best for the team for one. And I think the other thing about Chris Dunn is the fact that he's a very much team player. If the team's winning, you won't hear a complaint out of him. Honestly, sometimes when the team's losing, you don't hear a complaint out of him, even though I think that he should be the answer to some of the problems. I think Keontae George is splitting down the playmaking issue that they have and really just becoming the solution in and of itself. So in that sense, you kind of leave the, 17, $18 million Colin Sexton as your backup point guard. And then that leaves Chris Dunn, well, as the odd man out in this situation. For now, at least for now. Overall, though, 46.5% from the field and 30% for three. Don't love the 3 point percentage. The field percentage I can get with. Meanwhile, they shot 42% and 31%, 31.5% from three. So they shot worse. We'll take it. Dunn could be acting as a mentor to Keontae. Yeah, I like the idea of Dunn on the court with Keontae, but because Clarkson is playing so well right now, because of Keontae's playmaking ability, I think it's directly related to it. And because of that, I'm not going to push the button for the Chris Dunn to get some action because this is working right now, right? And anytime I feel some sort of way about something, I don't let it get in the way of the facts of the situation. The facts are always the most important part, and that ultimately is what determines what type of players they will be. So it's just one of those things where you just go with it as it is, and it will be what it will be. That being said, just take it. You play the cards where they lie, as the saying goes, and that's just not. It's not a bad thing. I wouldn't say. It's pretty comfortable. Any other interesting takes from today's game or takeaways or how you guys feel going forward playing against the Suns and the Lakers, obviously in some upcoming action? You said you said offensive rebounding this season has been impressive. Not today particularly, but in general. Yeah, I would agree with that. You said Lee. You said my last take is to like and subscribe. W Lee, man. W Lee. But let's see. Any of the newcomers with some surprising opinions? If you didn't like this guys, what else would you possibly like in life? Exactly, Lee. Exactly. That's W support. You would think Lee was on my payroll. The only thing is I'm more on his. But anybody new that's in the chat right now, any opinions regarding the game? Any questions? Any trade thoughts? Anything at all? Trying to get you guys more involved with everybody. We got 16 in here right now, which is, well, I guess roughly in line with what we usually have, but a little bit higher, I would say. He said Hardy should make the team work on defense before games more often, and that if they do this as well, something defensively needs to be adjusted to replicate this level of success across the entirety of the season, or as close to it as possible. When do you think Bryce or Taylor will get more minutes? I think it'll be after the trade deadline, if I'm being frank. I don't really know 100% about Bryce, but Taylor seems to be the more favored out of the two of them. So because of that, I think that after the trade line, the Jazz will know whether they're going to be making a playoff push or whether they're just going to be a lottery team. And if they're going to be a lottery team, then I think at that point you're going to go ahead and see them shut down a couple people, and you'll see Taylor not only play, play in a game, right? Because he only played in one game and played 2 minutes, but you'll see him play probably 20-ish a night, I would wager, which is going to do a world for his development, obviously, because against truly NBA caliber players. But whatever the case may be, we'll see it when it comes. Then you said I'll be joining a green team next time. I'll get on my laptop. Yes, sir. We appreciate it. You support awesome content. You know what I'm saying, man? This is off topic, but there was some hella annoying Blazers fans right behind me. Normally I sit in opposing stand. I like opposing fans, but these guys were crazy. What were they doing? Oh, well, literally the next message. Literally yelled after every call, and then we won the chance. They lost it. I don't even like when fans like that are on my side of whatever I'm watching. Like if I'm at a football game, especially or anything, and somebody's not it's not overly expressive, because there's a way to be overly expressive and it still not be annoying to people, if that makes sense. Like some people just do a whole lot of. But yeah, I definitely understand Tatum. Oh, we have an interesting one in here. Tell me how to can you give me the syllable pronunciation of your name? Uh Masige. It looks like Macy J. So Masige. I want to say your name right. Could you give me the little pronunciation of it for me? Swiderski. And also, where are you from? Your name sounds very interesting to me. I like it. I just want to be able to say it right. You said just woke up, taking every W as a good sign. Yup, absolutely. By the way, in all fairness to Tatum, Jazz fans aren't really better to opposing fans. Indeed, fair enough. Not all fans, but there are some Jazz fans that are out there. Yeah, at the fourth quarter, some Jazz fans were booing, and it's like, guys, chill. There's 2 minutes left, and we're up 15. Yeah, yeah. Every sports team always has those types of people, but it helps. It helps like challenge. It helps like even things out, if that makes sense, which is appreciated and is ultimately necessary across sports. But sometimes, like, I wish the NBA was like, what what country is Jokic from? Is it Serbia? Is it Serbia? It's not Serbia, is it? I might be having a slow moment. Well, wherever it is, those crowds are crazy. Like I saw one of their games, and it was like a good like 3 minute clip of just their fans. Like if we could have that in America, I think it would really boost the game a little bit. But obviously, it can't happen. It was Serbia. Okay, cool, cool. Yeah, yeah. I don't want to get it wrong. But yeah, their crowds go crazy. But then again, they don't have like I don't think they have as many regulations on what you can bring to the event and how like the things that you're able to do. So that might be part of it. Um, Also, I don't think I'll ever forgive the douche that heckled Russ in the playoffs Donovan's first year. Yeah. Yeah, it was a very much out of pocket situation there. Um Poland. Did I say your name right? Is it Masij? Masij? So, do the thing with the hyphens so that I can say your name. I want to say your name right. Poland. I appreciate you for tuning in. I'm glad that my reach is that far. I love that. I love that a lot actually. Hold on. Cuz that's actually really crazy because I'm just a lowly young man from North Carolina that stays in North Carolina. Let's see. When someone shot the lasers at Hardin. Yeah. Yeah, that was wild. It's because we got a few other outlets, and it's just Utah versus BYU college football, and that's it. Kind of like the ratio between Green Bay and the Packers. It's like why they're so die hard. Yeah. Okay, I understand. Yeah, that makes sense. Back in the day, I'm a Jazz fan from New Zealand, but I'll be following you regularly. Oh, that's what's up. What's up, man? I love that. I love that. New Zealand. So how many videos have you watched? Because I was wondering where my percentages, because it has like a drop every day where it'll tell me where most of my viewers are from. And like only 40% of my viewers since the beginning of November have been from the United States. So I know I'm having a lot of more overseas viewers, but I know like Finnish view, Finn, he's not in here right now. I miss him. Finn, when you're watching this back, because I know you're gonna watch this VOD back. Hey Finn, we miss you. Um, but he's obviously in Finland, and I know he watches a fair bit of the content, but there's a couple others as well. Um, yeah, it's just interesting to see it from people from other places. And then you said, when I lived in Ireland, they called me Magic. Magic it is. Say no more. Holy war. Wow. Poland, he said, "Oh, okay, yeah." Because my Poland percentage is low, but I didn't know I didn't know I've never met any of my uh subs from Poland, and I haven't seen anybody comment under my photos. Maybe they haven't. I just haven't recognized, but usually I don't. Wolves just beat the Warriors. Clay and Dre were too old to be acting a fool like that. The Warriors have been going through it this year, my guy. Very bad, very much so. I can't even lie. When I was a kid, I used to love the Timberwolves because of their logo. I think we all did at some point. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. But that's the way my brain a little worked. We used the same. I love the Wolves this year. Guess I'm a bandwagon. Anthony Edwards is just that guy. Gotta respect his craft. Gotta respect his game. He's just doing the right thing. Is that bandwagoning? Yeah, I guess so. Hopping on the hype train, but at the same time, still acceptable. Definitely still acceptable. Clay looks depressed after every missed shot. It's kind of sad. He can see the writing on the wall. Dan, don't make me think like that, bro. Clay. Like even when I used to hate the Warriors, I love Clay. He's just a likable guy. He didn't do anything. He wasn't a super showboaty guy. He just hit threes, was in the right spot, played defense hard. It was good. It was just a vibe. Um Liked him for a while because I used to live in Minnesota. That'll do it. That'll do it. Jordan Clarkson more efficient since KG3 started at PG. Yeah. And if he can stay that way, Jordan, I would say I would wager we just keep going. That's what I would say. That's what I would say. Let's see. Now they have a ton of former Jazz players, and I love them even more. Bro, Mike Conley is living the dream right now. Like the defense he's playing as good. He's playing up to par with his age, but that alongside the simple fact that he's being the distributor that he needs to be, just great. Just great. I love it for him. You said came in late, so I don't know if you already just go from here to improve. Oh, what's up, Landon? That being said, it's a thing of really if I'm the Jazz, you have to take it in 10 game spurts, right? So look at it as you having like obviously there's four quarters makes a dollar, but like just assume there's 8 quarters, right? 82 games, take it 10 games by 10 games, right? This seems to be the flavor of the week, right? So with Walker out, I think you stay with the starting lineup, trying to win as many games as you can and keep competitive. If you can be a competitive team that come to trade deadline, maybe you decide to make a move to push the needle just a little bit, just to make sure you're playing team. But if they can't make sure they get the job done now, especially against teams, for example, like the Portland Trailblazers, then you can't expect them to be able to make a move later on so they can compete with the teams like the Lakers, the Nuggets, so on and so forth, because it's just not going to happen. It's not feasible. It's not reasonable. That being said, I believe that they are a team that can definitely be a playing team, and I would like to see them do it. But they're going to have to be able to play this level of defense every night, or most nights, more often than not, and just have very efficient shooting, specifically from Clarkson, right? Mark, we know Lowry's not going to shoot like this every night. We know he's not going to have an off night every night. This is probably the second worst shooting that he's had since the beginning of the season. So the first game of the season against the Kings, and then this one. Outside of that, he's been stellar. We know this. It's a fact. It's established. We'll do. Outside of that, it's just going to be remaining consistent in your play and making sure you don't take any steps back, because the only thing that you should be looking at is forwards, not focus on the rear view mirror. Draymond's headlock on Gobert was crazy. I'm with you. That's why it's sad. Never used to see bad body language from him. Clay. Yeah, I'd agree with you, Dan. Convinced Danny Ainge hoarding more than 10 picks is ridiculous. Like, seriously, cashing 3 to 4 picks was to have more than most teams. He wants them all. And he wants to own the entire draft class one of these times. I say let him do it. No, I'm playing. 10 is a little bit excessive. But that gives you a lot to hit and miss on. But that also means that if you pick 10 people, you're going to probably have a lot of misses. That's the only problem with that. It's also good because it will lower the value of the picks we give away. Like the one we give to the Mavs. True. Macy, who's the Jazz best defender? On the perimeter, I would say Ochai, since Chris Dunn doesn't play minutes really at all. And then on the interior, a healthy Walker Kessler is the correct answer. But Lowry Markkinen, if he can properly learn his role and roam similar to Jaren Jackson Jr. did last season, then he potentially could be that player. John Collins is not a bad defender. He does get a bad rep at times because of his man-on-man defensive skills, but overall, I'm inclined to believe that he's a capable defender and one that will consistently improve in that department. Like you said, depends on the situation for defenders. Yeah, true. Coop, what's up, man? Is this your first time popping in here? What's up, Coop? Lee said, and the fact that we won with Lowry struggling is even more impressive. Yes, convincingly too. Not just a win, right? Convincingly. THT is also a solid perimeter defender, but he tends to struggle a little bit in zone defense, whereas Ochai obviously doesn't. Not nearly as much, at least. Not sure how far to plan on extending this channel. Let's see. Not sure how far to plan on expanding this channel. Would you be willing to do something similar to this, like the football terrace after games? Hmm. Fans call in and give their 5 cent opinion on the game. Interesting. Let me see. Let me read that again so I can really comprehend what we're saying, what we're trying to unpack here. Not sure how far to plan on expanding this channel. Would you be willing to do something similar to the football terrace after games? I'm gonna have to tune into their channel. Actually, you said fans call in and give their 5 cent opinion on the game. Oh, okay, okay, okay. I generally understand what you're trying to say there. I would definitely be down to it. I need to figure out how to pull up like my screen because what I might do is I might have like everybody hop in Discord or something. I would have to figure something out, but I would definitely at the very least attempt to do it. I would have to obviously like work out some kinks and make sure my internet connection is working because those that have been in all or most of my live streams know that from time to time I do have my moments where the screen will freeze and then I have to open up a new video or a new stream, whatever the case may be. But outside of that, definitely something to look into. I definitely like that idea. Thank you. Thank you. Definitely stealing your move and putting it in my bag now. Lee said, LOL. Yes, picks on picks on picks, but let's trade some eventually. LOL. Yeah. Yeah. Even if you trade 2 lower picks for a higher pick. Anything. Anything. He said, I wish Dunn played more, but he's probably our best guard. Hot takeout. But we gotta let the young guys play. Yeah, Coop. If you've seen any of my videos regarding Chris Dunn, I love Chris Dunn, undoubtedly. Love Colin Sexton too, but I love Chris Dunn because he's a better defender. He's the most cerebral defender, I would argue, on the team, like bar none positionally. Like if you go top to bottom of the team, brain wise, you put his brain in anybody else's body and they figure out the rules properly on defense, man or zone, right? He's not physically capable of guarding certain positions, or he's not big enough, long enough to pester certain people enough to make himself a consistent threat to them on that side of the floor. But he's also a very good decision maker on offense. And if that's what Keontae George has been taking notes from in practice, then it's no wonder why he's being so prone to assists and not turnovers in games. Dunn over THT? Yes, sir. I love Dunn. Not THT hate, but I just love Chris Dunn. Only 12 turnovers tonight? Yes, sir, Magic. We love it. We love it. Definitely can't beat that. Logic, you said Clarkson sometimes steps up in moments on defense, but it's rare at times in general closer games. Yeah. Clarkson is low-key a good defender. I say low-key because it's when he wants to be. When he chooses to be a good defender, he's a pretty solid guy. When he chooses not to be, likewise, he's a pretty not solid guy, which is the problem. But definitely he's definitely a capable defender. You said I love his steals. Yeah, when he truly locks in, I appreciate it. I remember his block against Zion last year. Coop, you said you should do a vid on sir. I think you're mostly doing jazz stuff, but I reckon a vid on him rookies will blow up. I also wonder about that. Coop, you do raise a good point. I know a lot of the videos that I used to do before were just kind of like different teams before like I really tunneled in on jazz content, but I am open to do other team stuff. And I have been watching his play from afar. Obviously, I haven't watched the games, but I watch the raw, the lowlights, the highlights, and the raw game film for them. And he's being a very massive contributor. So I think there is something to say about that. And you know what? Just for you, Coop, that video might drop tomorrow. Just to give everybody a little bit of a change of pace, because I know I've been talking about like really everybody on the Jazz one after another, and I'm trying not to get too repetitive with it, so I'll mix in a little bit of extra content. I also need to make an updated video on Colin Sexton as well, because he has been playing low-key good under the radar overall. But yeah, definitely. Sir Thompson is getting added to the list, top priority. Shout out to Coop. I'm gonna at you too in the description. I'm gonna at you too. So Make sure you check tomorrow. I gotta see, because I don't get out of work till around 4. So the video might not go up till 5, 5:30, but it's going up tomorrow. Best believe it's going up tomorrow. Oh, wait. I'm gonna have to record it tonight after this because I work security tomorrow night. I don't know. I'll figure it out. I'm gonna figure it out. Best believe I'm gonna figure it out. Yeah, I'm gonna figure it out. At the end of the day, just capitalize on news, upcoming players, NBA stuff. Doesn't always coverage. Doesn't always gotta be jazz. True. 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 Yeah, you said, yeah, we support you at Jazz Nation, but still watch other stuff. You have kind of types. Appreciate it. Yep. And that's why I rock with y'all. That's why I don't mind talking about the Jazz as much as I do. Scotty Barnes has also been doing good. Side note, I know that was just like out of left field. Scotty Barnes has also been very solid this season. He had a string of really nice games. I don't know if it continued over the past two. I didn't check, but he's been definitely like locked. Now tonight, defensively, Clarkson has been tuned in on defense in the last couple of games. Find out to get him on board 100% of the time. Yeah, that's the thing. A lot of times, defense is like 20% actually being good at defense, and the other 80% is just effort trying to be there. Because if you attempt to be there, you'll definitely be like a lot better than guys that just happen to have the talent. Because showing up for work is half the battle, essentially. Yeah, Barnes averaged 8.5 last year. This year he's been killing it. Yep. And we had a slight string of like 20 low 30-point games. So yeah, I don't know how his shooting is from as far as jumpers are concerned because I made my video about him earlier on in this year, referring to how the in order for the Raptors to make the playoffs and be a reasonable threat, he needed to add shooting to his bag. He had to become a better scorer. If he becomes a more well-rounded scorer, it will allow his team to be propelled into the playoffs. Because Siakam, as good as he is, he's not your number one on a championship team, which means you need to look at Scotty and say, Scotty, can you be the number one now? Siakam is a great number two, right? We saw it when Kawhi was there. But the thing is, you have to be good enough for him to be the number two, to push him to be the number two, instead of for him to be the fringe number one guy. I think he has the capability of doing that. Tell him to imagine his opponent is Kawhi with 15 seconds left every session. I'm weak. Cool. That's what you would think, right? Exactly. 15, 16. You would think he'd be like middle of the road. The voice text spelled it with a Y. Let's see. Yeah, my dream with front office analyst or GM out of the game. Keep an eye on everything. The story you want to tell. I'm probably down. For sure. Most definitely. Yep. I try to keep an overarching like cast net on everything. Like as long as I can keep like vaguely my hand in everybody's back pocket as far as information goes, like even if I don't watch every game, just being able to check on game scores, see who had a hot night, see who didn't have a hot night, who consistently. Tyson, there you are, brother. I was wondering when you were gonna pop in here. I thought I was gonna have to shout you out just like I shouted out Finn a couple minutes ago. But overall, it's just one of those like round the world type things. He did have it. Okay. Still. Let me see. Welcome, Tyson. He did have 15. Okay. But yeah, he's definitely a significantly better player. Scotty last year and Scotty this season so far, of course, we're only like 10, 11 games for them. And still definitely great player. Much more confident, more deliberate in his attack of the basket, and just when he has the ball in his hands, he's making things happen on his own accord. He's not getting induced into situations where he has to do one thing or another. He's doing it because he wants to. What we said. Good game, undoubtedly. Solid defense, more solid offense. Lowry didn't play well. It's okay. Jordan Clarkson did play well. That's one of the few games you'll hear me compliment Jordan Clarkson for taking more shots than Lowry, because Lowry just didn't have it tonight, but Clarkson did, and that's a good part. Too bad the Lakers won. That means the Lakers game is a must win. Yes, very unfortunate. Definitely wasn't looking forward to that. But sometimes you just got to have those necessary evils in there, right? Is what it is. Let me see. As a collective team. Yep. Yep. For sure. Oh yeah. You said Lee said what's fun about the Lakers game is if the Jazz win versus the Suns, the Lakers game could be a winner. Could be a winner goes to Vegas. So it's a win or go home moment in November. Good point. Good point. Very important to think about. I guess Project 6'9" is still alive in Toronto. Meanwhile, their ex Van Vliet is helping the Rockets not suck, and I hate it. I like the world a much better place where the world Rockets suck. Yeah. Side note: Dylan Brooks is also shooting very good from the field. Who'd have thought they made a right decision with bringing him in? Congratulations, though. I'm a hater, but I give credit where credit is due, and he's been standing on business. So shout out to him and what he's been able to accomplish so far this season. So far, still a lot left of the year to go. You said, I mean, I guess we could lose to the Lakers if we beat the Suns, but then we'd have to bank on getting the wild card, which I didn't want to bank on that. True. Then Logic said if we can play this well with Lowry struggling, we should aim at least to give the Lakers a fight for the win. Undoubtedly, for sure. He said it's funny because Scotty made that jump, but Mobley has seemed to plateau. True. That's a low key thing that nobody's talking about. I was gonna wait till the end of the year to shine some light on Mobley. Like, wasn't this guy supposed to get better? I didn't want to be that guy just yet. But yeah, you're right. Tyson, I've been watching White Men Can't Jump. Good movie though. Who would have thought that when you play Sega you would win? Yep. Right? Look at it. Finally, a coach with brain cells. Look at how the tables turned, or how do they say in the memes? How the turntables, how the turntables. They should have run the offense through him ages ago. He's baby Jokic. Reasonable. Definitely has a deeper bag than most people are willing to give him credit for. I'd for sure say that. You said, "Ray, you should know us Jazz fans kind of hate the Rockets and Clippers and Lakers." Yeah. Signal fire. Signed Dylan Brooks to a 10-day contract so he can help us in our tourney game against LeBron. I don't know. He might piss off LeBron and LeBron give us 40. And with our luck, that might just happen. It's fair. We got to give Mobley a bigger chance. I've seen flashes of good passing, but he gets bodied in the post. Yeah. 18 likes on the stream is a dub. Yes, sir. Undoubtedly is. You know it, Tyson. Signal would be sick, but up to you. I'll get around to it because honestly, a video just needs to be done about specifically the Rockets as a whole because they were not supposed to be this good starting out the season. We all thought it, right? We all thought it. This isn't a surprise. And if I did just a general video talking about teams that overachieved and underachieved, they wouldn't be able to get the shine that they deserve. So, yeah, definitely could be in the works. Not gonna lie to you, fam. Locked up LeBron the end of the day. That was an interesting game, actually. Side note. Who do you think the Jazz will trade by the deadline? Um, I'm not sure. I could see, depending on how things go, Colin Sexton still getting moved. I don't see Olynyk getting moved because they still kind of need his playmaking. Obviously, Keontae has been phenomenal, right? Um, Sexton has also been a very solid passer thus far. But the hole left by the front court when Walker's healthy, obviously Walker Kessler, John Collins, Larry Market, they're not playmakers themselves. So that's why you need that ability of Kelly Olynyk to just keep the ball moving on offense when he's on the court. So I'm not 100% sure, but I would say I could see two of our guards getting dealt out on the lowest of keys, or some draft picks just to up our odds of getting a higher one. It's hard to evaluate Mobley too because their spacing is weird sometimes. Yeah, I would agree. Maybe it's better this year. I haven't watched Cleveland yet. It's not significantly better, Dan. I'll be the first to tell you. They kind of run that like weird twin tower lineup that doesn't really work well because neither of them are like point uh bigs essentially, which makes things a little bit difficult for them because like when you think of a twin tower system in today's league, you think of New Orleans when they had Anthony Davis and DeMarcus Cousins. They're both very talented in different ways, but cohesively gelled enough together to really make something magical happen that most times nine times out of 10 probably shouldn't even happen. Teams underachieving, Bucks and Cavs and Warriors lack of depth, but Warriors boy. The Warriors was predictable, right? They looked really good in the beginning because Chris Paul was doing what everybody was like surprised that he was capable of doing at his age, pass the ball, which didn't really surprise me. But outside of that, it's just been a whole lot of not offense from other people. I think Andrew Wiggins really, this is his turn to stand up and decide what type of guy he's going to be for this team and for the roster going forward. But again, like I said, it's up to him. Nobody can do it for him. Nobody can make those choices for him. It's something he's got to stand on as a grown man. Um, Olynyk and Sexton. Olynyk kind of fills a need. I think that's the only reason why he wouldn't go. Sexton is playing well, but I do think that other teams would need Sexton more because of his ability to be efficient from the field. So I could see him getting bumped. Move Hendricks to the floor, but Hendricks can't play make like Olynyk can. That's the only thing. But Hendricks definitely should see some minutes eventually coming. Angel trade the whole starting five for 13 more picks. It's funny when Lowry's having an off night because he's still at 21-9. True. Cavs, when they take care of the ball, it's good, but we just lack something. I don't know what it is, but I can't put my finger on it. Logic. I mean, last year Jazz had 3 people in the starting lineup around 7 feet. Yeah. Continue to do it this year. Should build a huge lineup. The bigger, the better. Low key. Coop, you said Wiggins is cooked. I don't know, bro. I dropped him off in my fantasy. That's the thing. Like Wiggins is the youngest of the pack, so he kind of has to be that guy that does something. Or Kuminga, but Kuminga is not really inspiring to me personally. Has great summer league games, but never really translates to the regular season. I don't know what it is off the top of my head. I also don't watch enough of his tape in general to guarantee what his play style requires for him to be successful, but still, just something to keep an eye on. Get some other long 3-and-D players. Ochai at the 2, Lowry at the 3, Collins at the 4, Walker at the 5. Then I guess just have Keontae at point, low key. I mean, you could THT, but that probably wouldn't end well, spacing wise and just decision making wise. Where I'm kind of hoping THT goes. No offense to him. Yeah, I could see him getting traded. There's teams that could make better use of him, honestly. That wouldn't be wrong, right? He's worth something. He's definitely not a bad player. We don't need him and Sexton, and they are both doing the same thing. Sexton still drives to the basket and only kicks out when panicking majority of the time. Blake, what's up? This is your first time coming, and I think. What's up, Brody? Cool. I forgot we have JC though, so we can't put Taylor into the 4. Kaminga is a long-term project. He has good flashes, but it's just hard for him to get involved. Yeah, definitely. Jonathan Isaac, that's an interesting one. What were you thinking, Tyson? What were you thinking? Moving Lowry to the 4, from the 4 to the 3 made him better. Maybe we should move him to the 2. Back to back. I don't know how that would work. Lowry at shooting guard is crazy, but considering his game and the type of moves that we have him doing, it wouldn't surprise me. My hot take is that the Bucks will be closer to mid than great. Dame is nice, but they gave up too much defense for him. He's worth 4 points per 100 possessions. Too bad bench players cancel him out. John Collins in the lineup has actually been the worst on defense. Really? When John Collins is on the court, the Jazz have the worst defensive numbers out of every other lineup. Do tell Lee, well, what 5 with John Collins on the court yields the worst output? Let me know. What 4 other players on the court alongside John Collins yields the worst lineup when he's on the floor? I could suit up for the Bucks at this point. Yeah, the Bucks gave up a lot of depth. I thought they were going to get rid of Chris Middleton. It didn't even occur to me about Drew Holiday, honestly, because Chris Middleton isn't playing particularly well, and he's kind of cooked on the lowest of keys, if we're being honest. Dang, how did I miss a stream? I started late, Dink. That's what happened. Typically, obviously, we know I started like at halftime of the game, but a lot of other things came up beforehand. So I missed out on that portion. But I'm still here. I'm here now. We got a couple minutes left. I'll probably go another 12 minutes. We're an hour and 18 minutes in. So yeah, I'll give it another 12 minutes before I lay down. Yep. Yeah. But done over Keontae, make it even more defense. Yeah, but Keontae's being a great playmaker right now, so I don't think they want to mess it up. It would have been better if they switched THT for Dunn, because then you give Dunn the opportunity to fail. But now since Keontae's playing good, it's kind of hard to pull him and then give, Chris Dunn the opportunity to fail. Like, people feel like that's the wrong thing to do. Which, fair point, but at the same time, it is what it is. Let's see. Kenny Ballard. Yeah, hey, you never know though. You never know. If Isaac injured, like we plays lockdown. Blake, you said true. What's up? Have seen a couple of your post games. Appreciate your taste. Can't wait for Kansas to break out even more. Yes, sir. Undoubtedly. I just saw you subscribe to the channel. I appreciate you, family. I appreciate it. Oh, Johnny Isaac is injured. I respect Isaac a lot. Hope for the best. Yeah, John Collins with Walker Kessler is the worst. Really? Defensively? I have to watch a compilation of those minutes. That's crazy. That's actually alarming. Low key. Now that you say it, that's actually concerning to me. But Collins has been clutch in my opinion, not getting the ball enough on offense until late. Now Keontae starting. Yeah. Collins has been efficient on offense, but the fact he's been like part of the worst defensive units, I might actually have to focus, like watch his area and his zone on defense when he plays now, because I didn't even consider that to be a possibility, much less something that would actually happen. Wow. Just kind of flies under the radar, I guess. I don't know. Chris has been on minutes restriction for so long. Yes. It's not ideal. Coach Hardy must have forgotten how good Dunn did last year against starting lineups. I felt like it should have been Dunn over THT, and then Dunn relinquishes it to Keontae, but they went the THT route, so it is what it is. Let's see. Keontae looked more comfortable tonight. Didn't seem to force anything like he has been. Yeah, the game just seemed to come to him. 4 of 9 from the field, 2 of 7 from 3. Not terrific from 3, but, overall, solid splits, if I do say so myself. Lee, you said, bro, it's 1 a.m. there. You work like a dog. Get some sleep. Chill. You caught me sleep. You caught me slipping. You caught me slipping. It is definitely 110. As I said, I'll go another 9 minutes. We'll make the stream an hour and a half long exactly. An hour and a half long exactly. Since I did start late. Keontae, Speaker, Collins, Kessler, lob threats. He'll stack up those assists for sure, for sure, for sure. I've been watching the Magic also, and yeah, Isaac can guard 2 through 5 pretty well. Magic are also a team that might be worth a video about. Yes, I made one video about them in the very beginning of the season, before the season even started. I think the video is called "Is There Magic in Orlando?" It didn't hit 1,000 views, but I think I had like 700, 800, somewhere in that range. Good video. Overall, I think it's still relevant. I don't think there's been any changes to our lineups, but yeah, definitely been a solid team. I mean, they beat us in a close one, right on actually John Collins' nose. So there was that, but still. Yep, defensively, those two are the worst. That's actually crazy, Lee. That's so saddening to me. Kessler's been injured, though. Maybe take it with a grain of salt. Yeah, still gotta keep an eye on it. It's like the totality of them on the court together is crazy. You have like 5 more games once he comes back. Okay. Kessler hasn't ramped up yet, but I'm guessing it's more so Collins getting a bit lost on defense, who doesn't know how to play D with Kessler. I think it's definitely an adjustment, right? Defensively for the two of them, alongside each other, especially, but I don't know. I'm not talking Kessler defense, John Collins in particular team, right? Yeah. I like starting lineup how it is right now, honestly. Even if Kessler's healthy. Ooh, that's a hot take, Tyson. That is a hot take. That is uber hot. John Collins over helps a lot. My thought he should be a backup center. Really, backup center, Lee? I don't know how well I like him at the 5 though. I think that's the only thing. I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking a little bit, especially on defense. But you did say on the bench, so that would make sense. It's just sad Fultz hasn't seen the floor much, and Wendell is injured. Yeah, I would agree with you on that. But tonight he did better, not over helping. Love to see it. To be fair, I hurt my UCL playing baseball, and it takes a long time to fully heal. I understand why Walker's playing cautious. Yeah. Collins is still new, though, and can improve in time as long as he puts in the work. 100%. Yeah. His is going to be more of a cerebral thing. He's shooting well from the floor. He's playing the offense well. He just needs to think himself better on defense. Therefore, he will be. He said it has to be power forward, in my opinion. He'll work it out. I think he will. Lee, you said lost logic. Absolutely. He did better tonight. For sure. I didn't like Lowry as center, not going to lie. Ideally, you don't want to have to put him there if you don't have to. Not saying Kessler shouldn't start as criminal. That's why I said it's a hot take, It's hot. It's spicy. I can't say I agree, but I see the vision. I see what we're going for here. With George in the lineup, I think Collins will be fine. If John Collins can't stop over helping, only option is him at center. Yeah, I see what you're saying, Lee. Because he has to be capable of being not a totem pole, but just like being stout on defense. If you can't do that, you definitely restrict the number of situations that a coach is willing and capable of putting you in. He said he stopped overhelping tonight, which is good, but this is a 1 time out of 10 games now, 11 actually. Key, JC, and Ochai work together. Also played a great center at the Hawks. True, also true. The Hawks used him very interestingly. I will say that. I didn't love all of it, obviously, especially on the offensive side of the ball. I feel like he was drastically underutilized. I mean, we're still trying to figure out how to use him properly, but he has more opportunities to just push the ball and dribble a little bit before passing the ball off instead of just camping in a corner of the entire possession in screen setting. George, Clarkson, Collins, Lowry, and Kessler. Sounds like an impressive starting lineup. It's Ochai and Olynyk first off the bench. And Sexton done 9-man rotation. Cut everybody else. Cut everybody else is crazy. But I understand. I understand. Maybe Yurt 7 can get a few minutes. Yeah, I love Big Yurt. He hasn't had the opportunity to crack the rotation, unfortunately, but still rocking with Big Yurt, man. Got to. Yeah, one out of 11 is even worse. Agreed. Definitely can't argue with you there, buddy. Definitely cannot argue with you there. Let's see. But any more interesting takes or opinions? Got about the good 2-ish, 3-ish minutes left. I live in denial, so I'll stay with 1 in 10 games. I'm willing to agree with you on that one, Lee. I don't want to believe that John Collins is part of the worst defensive lineups on the team. I definitely don't. But gotta call a spade sometimes, I guess. Don't want to. Still don't want to. Call Fontecchio fettuccine. Crazy. Don't like. Oh yeah, Tatum. We know you don't like. We know you don't like him. Fontecchio seems to be your least favorite player. What do you think we can get for either THT or Sexton via trade? I don't know. It really depends on what team it is. I think you could do two guards for one off somewhere, or 2 guards for maybe a defensive piece if you're going for it, and maybe a trade piece, or excuse me, maybe a draft pick. But we have enough of those. Maybe you swap picks a little bit just to make things a little bit more interesting. Coop, you said it has to be racist. Fontecchio sucks, not gonna lie. He has a very niche role, and he can't be good at anything else because he's not good at anything else. True walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, probably a duck. Amen. Tatum said a second round pick will do. THT will do. But my denial world, it ain't a duck. It's a chicken. It sounds like a duck. Make me feel better. Yeah, Fontecchio can shoot sometimes, but he pisses me off so much on defense. Yeah, Fontecchio, if he's not shooting well from the field, he's basically useless because he's a cavity on defense. I.e., today he played 16 minutes, went 0 of 2 from the field, 0 of 2 from 3. Right? Yeah. Brogdon seems available. What are you looking into? I don't know how much you'll be willing to give for him. I wouldn't give too much, like destroy your rotation to obtain him. But he would be a little bit of a needle pusher. Always leaves your guy to help or double or triple team on the ball, and they get wide open shots. Fair. It's a joke. I mean, if we ship THT or Sexton out, you'd probably add Fontecchio. I would send him to low key, very low key. I think it's the max. That's the max for both players to BH. Was it plus minus for Fontecchio? Let me see. Let me see if ESPN has it right here for their thing. Why would I only want to see rebounds, assists, and personal fouls? Here we go. Fontecchio plus 11 though. Interesting. Plus 11 is kind of crazy for him specifically. Nah, Matt, I'm not a hater. A little bit. Just a little bit. But gotta respect the game is game. Tay said negative 9 billion. Feel like he did well. Yeah, he did apparently. Had that one good game, but all season. Has a massive fan base. Italy loves him, and they raid the IG comments of the Jazz page. Yeah, that's what it is when you have an international player low key. Yep. Also, he does The little things that don't show up on that sheet. Fair. Hot take plus minus only 20% accurate. But I don't want to bore you with that argument. I would say it's too much of an argument. I don't take plus minus as the main thing because you can be on the floor with people that take a lot of shots from you. And if they're not hitting that night, your plus minus is probably going to be pretty bad. Especially if they're taking all the shots and you guys aren't getting the boards. So I take it with a grain of salt, but it is generally pretty effective at counting things. I'll take any player. Grizzlies, Trailblazers, maybe one team. I guess the super easy bonus. Plus minus for anybody, but it's definitely like a good indicator. 100%. For sure, for sure. So in my mind, he did win tonight. Hey, we'll go with it. We are willing to go with it. Who doesn't like Aquaman? Man, look. But tonight's stream was pretty solid, guys. I know I just started a little bit late, but everybody popped out, everybody showed out, and we got a good turnout today. I know I saw some rotating like 16 minutes or 16 minutes, some rotating 20s every now and then, here and there, everywhere. But overall, definitely not mad with the turnout that we saw today. You know what I'm saying? Definitely good stuff. Appreciate you streaming out. Keep doing you. Yes, sir. Always, 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 and forever. You know what I'm saying? Got to keep going. Got to keep going. It's a long season ahead. We're only a tenth of the way. A tenth. We're only an eighth of the way there. But you know how we got to end this one. Been lurking and listening. Another great rap tonight. Congrats on 700 plus. Appreciate you, Mac. I was wondering if you were in here. Didn't want to call you out though. Yes, sir, Lee. Have a good night. As always, thanks for tuning into another live stream video. Now, everybody can support the channel by joining as a member or doing the super chat donations. Super chat donations are cool. It'd be easier if you did it through the buy me a coffee link because I get to keep a bigger percentage of that, 95% of it, as opposed to 70% because YouTube loves taking their 30. But we still love YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Still appreciate them because they allow us to get the game together like this. That being said, I appreciate you guys tuning in. Glad we got to get the W tonight. And as always, good morning, good evening, good night, no matter where you're on the globe watching. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.